Job market is about to get a whole lot more competitive, and there are three critical things that you need to do right now to set yourself up for success and to ensure that your job search process is as smooth as possible. Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 12 of the Recruiting Heroes Show. I am your host, Colin Whittington. I'm also the CEO and founder of Recruiting Heroes LLC, a national employment agency dedicated to helping our law enforcement officers and military veterans transition to the private sector. I'm so excited to have you all here today. It's going to be a good episode as we dive into the topic of the current job market and where it's going in the next few months. It's going to be an interesting conversation for sure. Before we do get started, I want to let you know that we are giving away our Heroes Job Search Guide. So if you're currently in the process of considering a career transition to the private sector, you want to check out this guide. It's completely for free. It's on our website at recruitingheroesllc.com. Go to the candidate services page, scroll past all of our wonderful services, but do check those out as well. And at the bottom, you'll see all of our free downloads, including the Heroes Job Search Guide. I will also put the link in the comments below, so check that out as well. This guide comes with our professional resume template, instructions on how to write a professional resume, how to optimize your LinkedIn profile, how to do some networking, and interview techniques as well. So you want to get that guide right away. It's completely for free, so do check it out. Before we dive into the topic as well, please do like this video and subscribe to this channel. It helps me grow and it helps us reach more law enforcement officers and veterans who might benefit from the lessons that we teach here. But let's get right into it. So the job market is about to get a whole lot crazier. It's already been a rough, year and a half, 2 or 3 years even of the job market, with candidates waiting 6, 8, 9, 10, 12, 18 months to even get a job. I live on LinkedIn every single day, and I see all kind of, really sad posts about people talking about how they lost their jobs due to a layoff and haven't been applying for dozens or hundreds of jobs and just not hearing anything back. And some people have been unemployed now for over a year. And it's really difficult to see, and it's feel really bad for people like that. And of course, I do anything I can to help, which is one of the reasons why I started this company and also why I started this YouTube channel. Unfortunately, things are not looking like it's going to get any better. In fact, I think they might get even worse. As a lot of you have probably been following, federal government employees have been offered the opportunity to basically leave their current employment and be paid through September, I believe is the date that they'll get paid. I know there's still some holdups on whether or not that's going to go through or not, but at this point in time, it sounds like around 60,000 or over 60,000 people have taken up the government on that offer and are planning to resign from their current jobs with the expectation that they will be paid through September or whatever that final decision is. Of course, some of these people will be fully retiring and just, going on with the rest of their life and not worrying about future employment. However, I see a large chunk of those people will be excited to take that income, but also be starting to look at what comes next in their career. And they will be looking to join the private sector. So we're talking about 40, 50,000, some people going into a job market that's already incredibly competitive. So it's going to make application numbers go even higher than they already are. I think they're currently saying about 250 applications for every job opening in the corporate world. So that's pretty crazy already, but it looks like it might go even higher than that. So there are three super important things that you need to do right now to make sure that you're set up for success, to deal with that influx of new candidates in the market and hopefully find a job before that actually happens. The first one is a big one I always push, is having a very strong resume. Your resume is the first thing companies see of you and learn about you in most cases. And if your resume is not fantastic in this current job market, your chances of advancing in the job search process or in that hiring process with that company are slim to none. Your resume needs to be in a professional layout. So if you do need a template, we're giving that away for free as well. Go to our website, or I'll link it below. So a professional resume template is crucial. You also want to make sure that it's not overly lengthy. You shouldn't be more than 2 pages, honestly. You want to make sure you highlight your professional achievements, your accomplishments using data, metrics, and action verbs. One of the biggest issues I see with resumes that I work on is that they're far too vague, giving very generic description of what these people accomplished in their previous roles or even in the current role. And that's just not going to cut it anymore. You need to show these recruiters and hiring managers why you are a phenomenal employee and why you are the perfect fit for the job they're applying for. And that means action verbs, and it also means metrics and data. Every single bullet point and every single sentence in Word in your resume should have one purpose and one purpose only, and that is to show that you are the best fit for the job you're applying for. That is so crucial, and a lot of candidates get this wrong, and they'll fill their resume with phrases and words that really don't mean anything. Saying that you're a hard worker or a dedicated employee or any of those generic phrases are just don't mean anything, to be honest with you, and it's not helping you prove that you are a good fit for the role. So make sure you have a strong executive summary. Make sure you have a skill section with about 9 to 12 skills that really highlight who you are. Experience section, of course, starting with your current or most recent job first and then going backwards from there, focusing on the roles you held in the last 10 years. Any older roles than that you can list out, but I wouldn't go into details on them because that would either make your resume exceedingly long or it's going to take up so much space from your other roles that you can't go into detail on the roles you've had more recently. So keep it to the last 10 years or so. Education section is important as well. If you have college, make sure you list that. Don't put your graduation date. That doesn't need to be on there. Certifications and trainings, crucial as well. Law enforcement, military, we do a lot of training. Don't put every single training you've ever done on your resume. Focus on 10 to 15 or so. And then if you have space at the bottom, add an honors or awards section as well. That's super important and it can really highlight what you've achieved in your career. And then finally, make sure you are tailoring your resume to the jobs that you're applying for. Not everyone, a lot of people think that they can make one resume and that's all that has to be done. And they then use that resume on every application that from that point forward, whether it be for a recruiting job or a director of security job. Completely different industries, completely different roles. They're using the same resume. And that's just not going to cut it in this current job market. You need to tailor your resume to every job you're applying to. And that is because of applicant tracking systems. And that is also because of how competitive this job market is. You have one chance to show the recruiter that you are a phenomenal fit for the job that you're applying for. So make it count. Number 2 is an optimized LinkedIn profile. So they say an average recruiter spends about 7.4 seconds looking at a resume before deciding whether or not he or she wants to continue with you in your job in the hiring process. So you only have 7 seconds on your resume. They are saying that recruiters are spending far more time looking at candidates' LinkedIn profiles than their resumes. A LinkedIn profile can have far more information than a 2-page resume possibly can, so they can go into much greater detail and look further into your background about what you've accomplished. So having a LinkedIn profile that's optimized and set up for success is truly, truly important. You want to have a strong about section, a very strong headline, work experience that's completely filled out and giving, again, data and metrics to highlight your achievements. Put on their certifications and trainings you've accomplished, honors and awards, and be active on the platform. If you're struggling with your LinkedIn or your resume for that matter as well, my company, Recruiting Heroes, all we do is help law enforcement officers and veterans transition to the private sector. And a big part of that is our resume writing and our LinkedIn optimization services. They are truly fantastic. We highlight what you've done and make sure it's written in a way that civilian employers can understand and appreciate your background. While many companies charge, $1,000 for a resume, we keep our prices far lower than that. We want to make sure that we're providing the best service for you, but also keeping it at a price that's really reasonable as well. So do check out our website at recruitingheroesllc.com and go to the candidate services page to see all of our wonderful services. All right. And then number 3 for things you should be doing right now. This one's probably the most important, and it's network, network, network. In this current job market, who you know is becoming far more important than what you know, and your network is what's going to land you a job. The days of applying for a job with your application and resume and hoping that you get it are quickly going away if they're not gone already. Most people nowadays are landing a job through a personal connection or someone they meet on LinkedIn and build a personal connection with on there. So you want to be networking nonstop every single day. Even if you're currently employed and happily employed, keep the networking going because you never know when life can completely change on you. You could go from being very happily employed to very surprisingly being laid off. I've talked to some candidates who've worked for the same company for 20 some years, and out of nowhere, there are layoffs. And now they're looking for a job again. So you can go from being totally happy and comfortable to being scrambling to find a job. And networking is something that takes consistent effort. You can't just network for a week and, be in a phenomenal spot. It takes months and years to build a strong network, and to maintain that network takes consistent effort. So make sure you are on LinkedIn, posting occasionally. It doesn't have to be every day, but maybe once a week. And if you don't enjoy posting, at least comment on other people's posts and engage with that way. If you meet somebody at a conference or a training event or other types of events, make sure that you link up with them on LinkedIn and keep the conversation going. Don't just put their business card in a drawer somewhere and never see it again. Find them on LinkedIn, connect with them, and build that relationship. And if you are on LinkedIn and you're not connected with me yet, I hope you will reach out to me. I'd love connecting with people. So send me a connection request, send a note saying you watched this video, and I would love to connect with you and help you in any way I possibly can. So again, this job market is evolving quickly. The next few months are going to be very telling to see what the future looks like for this job market, but I do fear it's going to get even more competitive than it already is. So I urge you to take these 3 steps I mentioned today and make it a priority. Make sure you get your resume, your LinkedIn, and your networking completely squared away. That way, when you are ready to find a job, you can find one without any kind of headaches or hassle, and you can find a job that really aligns with your passions. Again, I do hope you'll go to our website and check out our services for sure. But if you are currently not in a position to pay for services, that's completely fine. That's why we're offering a ton of free things as well. Again, we have our Heroes Job Search Guide. We have our resume template. We have a document that helps you identify industries that might interest you. And then we have an interview cheat sheet. That way, when you come to interview, you are ready to go and ready to crush the most common interview questions. So check those out at recruitingheroesllc.com. But that's all we have time for today. Make sure you do like this video and subscribe to this channel. I really do ask you to do that. It helps me so much. It helps me grow more. It helps the YouTube algorithm. And it really lets us reach out to more heroes around the country who could benefit from these lessons. So please do that. But until our next video, I hope you all stay safe. Thank you all for your service, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye, guys.